So in this one, I want to talk to you about Oshwal Jain Primary School. I'll do a quick one of the standards first, and then I'll get into the deep, meaty bits. Standard 1, uh, classes were classified in flowers. So 1, Lotus 1. That's the one I was in. My teacher was Mrs. P.D. Patel, the most unpleasant teacher I have had, and not the best teacher to have when you've just started primary school, because she used to pinch us, slap us. Our class, where our class was, there was a door at the back which was always closed, and it had a small window, and that door led to the middle room, which led to the boys' toilets. So Mrs. P.D. Patel used to come through there, hide and watch us, and then intentionally catch us and then punish us. So again, not a pleasant person. She looked like a skeleton wrapped in brown cling film. Really big, like evil-looking eyes, bony chin, looked like she wasn't wearing dentures. Three main things I can remember was one of my classmates was this little pixie with big hair, sometimes kind of curly, and her name was Sajni. And then there was Priya. Why I remember Priya's handwriting was because she was helping me with maths once, and her handwriting was so perfect and round and beautiful, just like her eyes. I was like, yeah, this is going to help me get through PD Patel's classes. Oh, and the third thing I remember was outside our class. It was on the edge where the high school was on the other side of that building. And between there was a walkway where there was this tree which grew ramphor. I think it was ramphor or one of the custard apple family, but I never got to try it. So I don't think it was like a proper fruit. Maybe it was something that looked like it. That's standard 1. Between standard 1 and standard 2, I don't know where this memory fits in, but I remember me and Pritesh got in a scrap. I won, or Pritesh ran away crying. So I carried on playing in that slanting slope area near the boarding. Next thing I know, I see two of these, two Priteshes. What is going on? Like Will Smith, Priyesh, his brother, knocked me out.
I'm in the car, he on the ground, trying to figure out what the just happened.
And that was my first experience of twins. Standard 2. Flower was Salvia, and I was in 2S2. Teacher was Mrs. Mehta, and Mrs. Mehta had a special way of saying that. She wouldn't say that, she would say shash. Her cheese were. I remember telling my mom that bit, so that's how I remember. The other thing I remember was the guy sitting in front of me, Vinith. He didn't stay in school for long, or he moved somewhere else, because I didn't see him for long. And why I remember him a lot is because he stole my eraser. I had brought a very special eraser, which was not the same as the one you get in your Oxford compass, the blue and white ones. And the blue part was actually green and jelly-like. So he really liked it, and I saw him sneaking it right in front of my face. And he's like, I really want it, Paras. Like, no, this is mine. Leave it alone. So I put my compass in the desk, as everyone does, go for recess. And after recess, I was just like, let me just see, because I have a feeling this guy's been at it again. If he can steal in front of my face, he's definitely going to do it when I'm not around. Eraser disappeared. And I didn't do anything about it. And I think he was related to Sita, because Sita was also in the class. And Sita always has that sultry voice when she's speaking. Tall girl, and I was so impressed. I'm like, I know a Sita. This is like, these are heavenly names. I remember Roshni. Now, Roshni, I remember for a few reasons. First of all, she was a cutie. I liked short, cheeky, not skinny girls. She was not fat, but she was not skinny. I remember her because she had an eraser collection. And I remember her because there used to be a cartoon on KBC called Princess Night. Now either we started talking about how much we liked it, after school we used to like watching it, or she just reminded me of that character. Much later on, I would be bumping into her in UK, and she was still a cutie. I remember once she wore the black nail polish. Anyway, moving on.
Radha. I remember me and her, we did our rangoli together, just in the middle room between the class and the corridor, in that corner, and Radha brought this red powder, which was edible, and it was so tasty. Some for the rangoli, some for us, and then she had the bag left. I'm like, you can be my bestie. 2S2. I remember HC and Nemu used to tell me about Mrs. Kerai, and she was a cutie. On top of that, when she felt like she punished you too hardly or anything, she would give you a kiss. And they used to blush when they used to tell me this story.
Now, standard 3. I was in 3J1, Jacaranda. The teacher was Mrs. Susan D'Souza, one of our greatest teachers. Now, Goan teachers had that sixth sense because all Goan teachers were like just awesome. Mrs. Barreto, Mrs. Cordero, Mr. Jacob Suarez, the Tavares team. Anyway, Goan teachers just have something. You know, in your life, you have those certain teachers that they are those teachers. Mrs. Susan D'Souza was that for me because I was really bad in English and just words. But what she used to do is in her composition markings, she would say, okay, wrong grammar, wrong context, bad spelling, didn't write on the line. And because you had to even write on the line on top of that. So, oh my gosh. But she used to give me back points for, she's like, amazing creativity, great description, great story. So she was my inspiration to start teaching other kids in any way, shape, or form. Because for me, I don't care what subject I'm teaching the kid. I want to know if they are struggling with the same things I was struggling with, and guide them, plant at least 3 to 5 seeds in them for later on. Because these kids who are seen as bad kids or bad seeds or stupid and things like that, they just need the right guidance. And I'll share a link on dyslexia. Very important message for teachers, because you're either a teacher or you're an educator. For me, those important seeds would be the ones saying, you listen, your struggle is something someone else has already gone through that hurdle for you to win your race. So don't give up. Don't just find the right mentors, find the right learning, the books, whatever you need. We had myself, Tarang Nemu, Chiragala, and Ashna were the bad seeds. So we all 4 sat in the back. If anyone knows where this Ashna is, she was a short girl, always had a ponytail. She seemed like she would have curly hair. So we used to be the rebel rousers. That's where one of my longest primary friendship started with Nemu. Okay, before I get into Tarang, Jiragala left primary school a while, somewhere in between, and I think he went back to India or something, but every now and then he would show up, and he would show up with either a mullet, a rat tail, earrings, and all that, and I'm like, this guy is just so cool, because our heroes were the wrestlers. They were the Bollywood guys, and they did all that, bouffants and whatnot. Chiragala also had some eye problem where he used to have these crusty eyes. I think I also had that problem for a short time and had to put some ointment. Now back to Nemu, Tarang. Me and him shared lots of secrets. Now, that was the same class where I fell in love for the first time in my life with Priyal. This doll looking angry doll, like the pouty face, Cyndi Lauper. I used to call her Cyndi Lauper. And she used to have this ponytail coming out from the side like Krishna. This cutie, oh my gosh. I might have to make a separate video on all my stalking skills when it came to her. But back to Tarang. Me and Tarang, we used to have nicknames. Now some nicknames started from my house. Eggy, Bready, Thingy. Those 3 were, I think you can figure out what body parts those would be. He used to have a nickname for Priyal, which was R. And the way he used to say it is R. Never remember. That was the year Nirav K. Sri got kidnapped. And we were really worried. The whole class was in silence for the day, or it was like tension in the class. Where that class was near the parking, the roundabout where we get picked and dropped. And it was second floor. I don't pack timetable according to timetable every day. If someone asked me, did you pack according to timetable? I had all the books in that bag. I packed according to timetable every day and having everything together with me. So I used to throw that from the class because I didn't want to have to carry it all the time. And finally, where 3J1 was where the girls' toilet was, just outside the front of the front door. So I think I want to say Anish or someone. Maybe it was standard even 6 even. But we started using that middle area to change for PE, and then slowly just use it as a loo. Did I say Barreto? Yeah. Cordero? Yeah. See that fucking mic's gone off again now. Stupid mic.